Hello, Tansei. We are the Hawk group, and for our resource evaluation, we are analyzing the Orange Shirt story by Phyllis Webstad.
The Orange Shirt story is about Phyllis Webstad and about the year she spent in a residential school when she was 6 years old in 1973 to 74. It's about her experience and how her granny took her to a local store to pick out a shiny orange shirt for her first day of school, and then what happened to her when she got to the school. There's two versions of the story. The first version is for older children. It's a little bit more graphic and a little bit harder vocabulary, more words. They'd have to be more proficient in reading and comprehension. And then the other version, Phyllis's Orange Shirt, is a version for children ages 4 to 6. It's simplified and in a rhyming pattern with age-appropriate illustrations and language. Phyllis wrote these stories herself, both of them, and they're a great jumping off point to start teaching Canada's history with the residential schools.
Some notable strengths of the book include two different versions of the story. The Orange Shirt story is a version of Phyllis's story and ideal for older children, while Phyllis's Orange Shirt is geared towards children ages 4 to 6. The book also includes themes of kinship, traditions, family, and Indigenous way of life, and is a common and reliable resource for educators. The book is also a first-person account, which inspired the commemorative Orange Shirt Day movement, proving to be a useful resource that will make a lasting contribution to the history of residential schools. It was difficult to identify some weaknesses. However, if any, the book is limited to one person's experiences, and some may argue that Phyllis's story is not a true depiction of residential school life, and everyone's experiences were different. However, the book is still an excellent conversation starter.
Resource use. This book can be used to introduce the impact of residential schools in Canadian history. It's a first-person account of their residential school experience with the message that every child matters, to speak against the feelings of being alone and not mattering in the schools. It's to create an awareness and understanding between generations of survivors and non-Indigenous Canadians, as well as to share stories and to start healing with truth to aid in reconciliation amongst Canadians.
Overall resource evaluation. This resource can be used as a link between the past and future, carrying a message of hope for the times ahead and a continuity of culture and community. It demonstrates kinship and connections to the land. It shows representations of Indigenous culture in a relatable way for students. It provides a holistic view of cultural identity. The resource engages students in learning about Indigenous experiences and worldviews in an authentic way. And finally, the first-person voice is acknowledged and credit is given to the individual, Phyllis, whose experience is shared through her personal narrative.
Here are links to companion resources for your use. The last link in bold features a live event that aired today, however, can still be accessed through a recording, and it features sharing stories from families of residential school survivors.